Hey students, we're going to talk about an artist named Kelsey Montague. She is an international street artist. Here's a picture of Kelsey. She creates murals. Murals are a form of public art. They're usually large paintings on a public wall that anyone can view. So her paintings or murals are interactive. That means that the viewer can actually become a part of the artwork. And you'll see what I mean here in a few minutes. She also shares her artwork on social media, so places like Instagram or Twitter. And here we are. Here are her wings. So she creates mini murals with wings, and they're large enough that someone could step in between the two wings that are painted on the walls and take a pose and a picture and then post it to social media with the hashtag #WhatLiftsYou. And so you could write about what lifts your mood or your spirits. It could be something that makes you happy. And so you'll see that her wings actually have a lot of patterns and details. And so that's what we're going to do when we create our patterned feathers for our Langston Hughes What Lifts You mural. She even creates small versions of the wings for dogs or babies or small children. And I wanted to share with you a quote that she said about her work. I wanted them to step into a piece, become a living work of art, and then reflect on what is most important in life. So hashtag #WhatLiftsYou has tens of thousands of posts on Instagram of people sharing themselves interacting with her art. It actually became really famous, her first wings mural, because Taylor Swift took a picture in front of it and then posted it to Instagram. So you're probably wondering how she makes those wings so large, and it's actually because she uses a crane to get up very high and create all those details for the top of her wings. And she also uses paint pens, which makes it much easier for her to create detail very quickly. So my question to you is, what lifts you? What makes you happy and lifts your spirits? I want you to think about that as you're creating your feathers for our Langston Hughes wing mural. So this is what our wing mural is going to look like. It'll be out in the hallway so the entire school can participate and interact with it. Here are some examples of some feathers. Here's what they look like all together. So the first step is you need to draw or trace your feather. I have tracers for you to use. If you don't want to use a tracer, you can draw it on your own. I'm going to use a tracer today. You'll go ahead and start using a Sharpie right away. You can see that I have a feather next to me, so I can kind of use that for a reference. You won't have feathers though, so just use your imagination or the image sheet that you'll be given. So you need to make your feather really large so it fits and fills up the whole paper. You don't need to draw it in pencil first. You're going to go straight in with the Sharpie. So this is the part when you're going to start adding some smaller spaces to your feather. That way you can create different patterns and you don't have just one pattern over your whole thing. So you can draw a few straight lines crossing over your feather. I think I probably draw 5 or 6 lines, and then I start drawing my patterns in each of the smaller spaces. So this is when you're going to add some patterns using your Sharpies. You can create patterns, which is something that repeats, using shapes, lines, and colors. I want your patterns to be very detailed and close together so they're more interesting. So now you can add your color. If you're in 3rd through 5th grade, you'll use colored pencils. If you're in kindergarten through 2nd grade, you'll use crayons. I want you to try pressing down the crayon or the colored pencil softer and harder. That's going to create lightness and darkness, and it's going to make your feather look more unique and interesting. It's going to help it stand out. So now you can use scissors to cut neatly along the black line. And once you've cut out your feather, you need to throw your scraps in the recycling and pick everything up off the floor. And you need to write your name on the back in pencil so it doesn't bleed through. Well, I can't wait to see your feathers when I get back.